Thank you for joining us. This is the Traders Exclusive Live Trader Showcase. I'm Sherry. Please check out tradersexclusive.com, where we regularly post articles and video clips with valuable trading tips and techniques. So before we get started, I will share the quick disclaimer. You should carefully consider whether trading is suitable for you in light of your circumstances, knowledge, and financial resources. You may lose all or more of your initial investment. Opinions, market data, and recommendations are subject to change at any time, and past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. Many thanks to our sponsors for the June Live Trader Showcase, Market Taker Mentoring, TechniTrader, and Money Mentor. Please go check them out at markettaker.com, technitrader.com, and moneymentor.com. Thank you again. Kenny the Warlock Glick of Hit the Bid is here.
All right, and we're back. So before we even get started, I know this might sound funny, but I can guarantee that I can make you money. I have a trade that I've been doing since circa 2003, and it's virtually guaranteed. There is zero chance of losing money over any extended period of time if you just take this trade. And I know that might sound crazy, but not only will I show it to you, but I'll actually personally guarantee it. And if you put this trade on and you lose money, I'll give you your money back. That's how serious I am. So
wow.
Yeah, so there's an index that tracks fear. And if you guys haven't noticed yet, the market never goes down. The bull market is perpetual. It's just one big smoke and mirrors rigmarole. You know, most stocks, again, I've been doing this for 30 years. Most stocks still stink. If you pick 5 random stocks, 4 of them will probably wind up going to zero. 1 might be doing all right. And you're never going to beat the S&P 500, and you're certainly not going to beat the QQQ, which is the top 100 stocks, and of course, obviously, the king of all stocks now, NVIDIA. But there's an index. It's called UVXY. They invented it, I think it was 2003. I'm not exactly sure, but once I learned how it works, I've been shorting this thing almost on a daily basis. And I went away from it because, I found a trade that works pretty well, but I've gone back to this trade. Let me just show it to you on the screen right here, UVXY. I'm actually short right now because I'm always short this stock. It is built to go down. So what UVXY, and again, a few day traders out there, if you don't know about UVXY, you've done yourself a very big disservice because it tells you about the overall sentiment of the day. UVXY generally going down tells you that the overall market should be bullish. And then in extreme days, when you actually do have some bearishness, every 13 or 14 years, when you actually have a bear market or a market that goes down for more than 7 minutes, this stock will actually go up. And here's a fun chart to look at just to give you a brief overview. This is just for today, but if you go over any extended period of time, this is a month. It was just 29, 21. It was down 5 points for the month. Here's 3 months. It was at $41, obviously down. If you go 9 months, it was at $100, obviously down. So any extended period of time, here's a yearly chart. It was at 119, and this is it gets even funnier here. It was $1,900. These are all split adjusted prices. So what the product does, it tries to reflect the volatility and the fear. So it's not just a VIX product. Everybody thinks it's just a leveraged VIX product. It's much more than that. It's basically Nancy Pelosi. It's telling you when Nancy Pelosi is buying and selling stocks. And obviously she's got the most inside information there is. If UVXY is going up, that means Nancy Pelosi and her cronies are lightening up on the market. When UVXY is actually showing like momentary strength, because that's all it does. And every once in a while you'll see it, it had some spike ups, but the perpetual move is down. So when this thing actually shows some strength, you know that you should be looking to short the market, which is very rare. And that's why this product always goes down. So you could short this stock almost every day and just watch it go down and collect the money. But what's even more psychotic and more disturbing is people continue to buy options, call options, as if this is going to protect their portfolio in case something happens. That's where the mistake is. People still think that this is some sort of a hedge against the market going down. Yes, for that day, but then it resumes its course right back down because it's built to only reflect the volatility for the day. So people that are buying options on the stock, for instance, I'll show you what I'll just go out to the furthest I can. You could go out right now, and this is the option chain. You see it on the screen, the $45, $70 calls. The stock's at $22, $24. And by the way, right now we're short and we're long the $24 puts that we bought today at a nickel. And hopefully, we've sold some at 10 cents for 100% gain already. We're still in this right now. I still think they're going to go lower. I'll show you the ones we're in right now. But let me just show you this trade right here. And again, if you have some money to just let sit around, like I said, it's guaranteed. Guaranteed. The stock is built to go down. In the prospectus, it actually says, please do not buy this long term. It will go to zero. So there are so many people that still don't know how this thing works. So they're sitting there and they're buying $80 calls for January. So a couple of weeks ago, and I get about a month ago, this stock had one of its reverse splits. And when it reverse split, it was around $40. And people still think that this product can legitimately go up when the market starts to go down. And like I said, it might go up for 1 or 2 days, but inevitably it reverts and goes right back down. So you could sell premium on this product, right? They were 10 bucks. Now they're 350. I'm still selling at 350 because these will go to zero. So people are willing to buy $80 calls on this stock that's perpetually built to go down. So they're buying a disintegrating product on a disintegrating product. You have zero chance of success. Zero. You will always lose unless you have unless you're the one, unless you're Neo, unless you are the Matrix. Because let me tell you, as a bear and the perma bear former president, you cannot make money shorting this market. It doesn't go down anymore. And when it does, it only lasts for a couple of days. So what's the point? Crush the bears, crush them every day. And by the way, Roaring Kitty's probably coming on soon. And I don't want to take anybody away from if you guys want to watch what Roaring Kitty has to say. So I want to put up GameStop in the corner just to see the activity here. But before I would go any further, I just want to let you know, I run a website called Hit the Bid. We're in the middle of, doing some mergers and we're getting together with a couple of friends of mine. So my website's kind of a little wonky right now. If anybody wants to see me in action, the best way to do it is email me tonight, thewarlock@hitthebid.com, and I will give you a free pass to my room. The way I run my business is that I don't bullshit. I trade live for a living. I've been doing this for 30 years. And what I do is I invite people to come see me in all my glory and splendor and watch me trade, meet my crew. And then if you like what we do, then you join. And the best thing I could do is offer you something that you're going to make guaranteed money on to help pay for a membership. So UVXY short, continuously shorting it, always shorting it. It's the most fantastic thing ever. And if you've never heard of it, do some due diligence into it. Next time you see it rallying to the upside, make sure you short it. Let me show you what we're involved in right now. I am a VWAP trader. If you don't know what VWAP is, volume weighted average price, it is how the market works. If you haven't noticed, the market is rigged. All those cliches about the market are true. It is rigged. And once you understand that the market it really is. It's rigged to price. There's a little fear and a little momentum that's also thrown in there. But once you go back to just trading price, you'll never be on the wrong side of a trade unless you decide you want to be. So I have a trade that I've been doing since 2012. It's called an earnings reversal. And if you listen to Adrian Manns, by the way, officially the nicest guy in the industry. Let's give it up for Adrian Manns. He was just on. Fantastic family man. Hello. Talking about deviation bands. That's, again, I like the deviation band conversation. I'm more of a VWAP trader and a price trader. And over the last decade, I have noticed that 100%, there's no doubt about it, the market is rigged. Algorithms run the entire system. So the only way you're going to really make money is to follow the algorithms. My 1,000 shares of NVAX today is not moving the market. You want to know where the real players are putting money to work. You want to know about you want to know about where the real money's going into the market. And that's what volume weighted average price is. It takes into consideration the amount of shares that went in to the name at a specific price. And what we've realized, and Adrian again was talking about gap reversion. This is exactly what we do as well. But the VWAP gives you an idea of when that reversion is going to happen. So what you're looking at, let me get rid of these red lines. What you're looking at right here is one of the trades that we did this morning. And every morning I come in, I give you a list of stocks that we're watching. Why we're watching it? Because they reported earnings. Why is that important? Well, it's important because on earnings day, you have more what? Volume. V for volume weighted average price. More volume, more better. So the more volume you have, the less chance of the manipulation of the market. Small cap stocks that only have a couple of 100,000 traded on them, some hedge fund guy wants to dump 100,000 shares, no matter how skilled of a trader you are, that stock's going to go down. And by the way, UVXY, we are getting paid here, people. Paid on those $24 puts. Paid. Let me just show you the trade. I didn't mean to come here to talk my book, but again, I want to make sure you guys, while we're sitting here, you can make some money with us. $24 puts, we bought them this morning at the open at a nickel. We sold some at 10 cents, and now we're about to sell some at 15, hopefully. And if my prediction is right, this thing will break 24 and go to around 23.85, and hopefully we could sell some of these at 25 and 30 cents. But right now, obviously, you see I'm short 400 shares from 24.72. That's because as soon as they roll over and break yesterday's closing price, they tend to go down. That's where my entry is. But let's go back to this DocuSign. So each morning, we do something very, very specific. We trade stocks that are in the news. Those are the ones that reported earnings. And any stock that's in the news. Obviously, GameStop is in the news every day, so we're always looking at it. It just works better when there's stocks in the news. So what do we do? All right, DocuSign. Does anybody know what they do? Exactly. Who cares? I think you could sign a document on the internet and something like that, right? Kathy Wood thought it was a revolutionary idea. Eventually, the stock's going to be at zero because nobody cares. Just like Zoom and Roku, most of these stocks are going to go to zero, and she's going to be run out of the business. Anyway, but that doesn't matter to us. It doesn't matter what DocuSign does, whether they're a profitable company or whether Kathy Wood's buying or selling it. We look for stocks that are gapped down to get what we call washed out and then break back over the VWAP. So that blue line is today's VWAP. What's the orange line? The orange line is yesterday's VWAP. And what we have learned by watching this over the last 12 years is that when you get here's that first candle, there's the VWAP break, no reason to be buying it. But when you get this washout, and again, the stock was gapped down, meaning it's lower when you walked in this morning than it was yesterday. It's gapped down on the earnings. And what we've learned, if a stock is gapped down under the earnings and it sells off below the VWAP, if it breaks back above the VWAP, buy it. Now, am I saying this is a guaranteed trade? No. But if you trade this setup, each time you do this trade, you have risk reward in your favor. You're clearly defining the trade. You know exactly why you're getting in. And more importantly, you know where you're probably going to get out for a winning and where you're going to get out for a loss. And there's really nothing left about trading that you need to know. So why am I buying it? They reported earnings and they're breaking VWAP. Okay, cool, I'm in. So you're in at 49.65. Well, what if it doesn't work, Kenny? Well, you're going to use prior candle lows as your outs. So you see that prior candle low right there, 49.03? That was one of our stops. You see the low of the day where it hit the double bottom at 48.70? That was our second stop. Clearly defining your trade. So if you're buying it here with 1,000 shares at 49.66, 500 would be here, 500 to be there. That's your risk. Your reward is sitting there at the orange line. Now, if you noticed, look where the stock went to. It hit the orange line to the penny. Not just around it, not near it, to the penny. It went from one specific price, the blue line price, to the orange line price. You want to know why? Because the market's rigged to price and volume weighted average price. So if you have the rigging on your screen and you have the reason to get in, easily defined trade, you're risking X to make Y, And what we have found, and if today was a better day, quite often when you consolidate here at the orange line, your next leg up happens. And then we start looking at prior day VWAPs. So you're looking at 2 days worth, now 3 days worth. And you see how the orange line's just moving slightly. That means the stock has been pretty much sideways over the last 4 or 5 days. So maybe you're not going to get too much more out of this. But again, it's a winning trade. And the only thing that any trader wants to be is consistent. This trade, I know this one's going to sound funny too, has not failed once this year. Let that sink in. I'll give you a minute. All right, so let that one sink in. It hasn't failed once. So I got a trade that's guaranteed, and I got another trade that is pretty damn good. So to be consistent at this, how about you take trades that one's guaranteed, that's a good thing, and the other trade works pretty much 80 to 90% of the time. And when it doesn't work, and again, this is why, again, a lot of this industry, if you are on the internet, which I know most of you are, what's the most commonly used phrase in this industry? Track record, win rate, right? I'll be here to tell you, track records and win rates are bullshit, because you can go 1 for 9, which is a 10% win rate. No one's going to want to buy what you're selling. But at the end of the day, if your one trade is awesome and the other 9 were managed losses and you've come out ahead, you're still a profitable trader. But again, the internet will want to sell you this whole win rate thing. That's not what trading's about. It's about being consistent, finding a trade setup where you have risk reward in your favor and managing those trades. So back to this DocuSign. So what do you do here, right? So as a trader, what do? You got the blue line to the orange line, right? You take your money and then you say to yourself, hey, you know what? Now I could sit pretty with this stock and just wait to see what happens. So when you come to my website and you come to my seminars, which I do on a daily basis, really all I'm doing is talking about what to do. And then it just becomes the same day over and over again. I think we all realize the market never goes down, right? We threw COVID at the market. It went down for 2 weeks, and then we managed to have the greatest rally of all time. And then they championed this woman, Kathy Wood, and they crashed the market because all of her stocks were just COVID worthless pieces of garbage, and we crashed again. And then what happened? We rallied again. And every time we try to sell off, what do? We find a bottom, and then we rally twice as hard as we sold off. So generally, the market doesn't go down, but most stocks continue to stink. You don't have to worry about any of that because we're not swing trading. We're not investing in the market. There's so much money to be made intraday that you really don't need to swing trade. And generally, in my experience, most swing traders are just failed day traders. Because let me ask you a question. Has this happened to you before? You buy a stock, you have high hopes for it today, and then it starts to go down and you don't sell it. And you say, oh man, I really wish I would have sold this. And then what's the next thing you say to yourself? Well, I guess I'm holding it. Congratulations, you're a swing trader. That's how it usually goes down. But if you could conquer being a day trader, then you'll be on the right side of these trades, like NVIDIA right now. Let me show you the trade that we're in. Suddenly my cousin just called me. He's buying NVIDIA. Why? You see how it consolidated at the blue line the whole day and then it broke back above the consolidation? So my cousin's in the stock right now at 1195.45, and he just sold it at the orange line. I wish I would have pulled this up about 3 minutes ago. Thank you, Richie. And this is how we trade, my friends. So again, stocks that are in the news. You guys have heard of NVIDIA? Yeah, it's this chip stock or something. Consolidation at the blue line breaks that range. You see that red line? I taught my cousin how to draw these red lines. This is just spike up prices from earlier. See the consolidation? There's the VWAP break. And next thing you know, wham, blue line to orange line, blue line to orange line, blue line to orange line. It really could be that easy. That's what's so sick about this. And I've been doing this, like I said, for 12 years. I've been trading for 30 years. I've never seen anything like this work so consistently. And I'm not cherry picking. So let's go back to this DocuSign. You see what's happening right now? Right? We're lifting off the orange line, making new highs because the trend is intact. Today's VWAP, back over the prior day VWAP, and you tend to tack on a little bit. So if anybody's still out there, hopefully you're still hanging out on a Friday, 12 o'clock, and I don't know what Roaring Kitty had to say, but I don't have the volume on. I'm sure he's saying something. This trade that I'm showing you works in any market. Down markets, sideways markets, up markets, volatile markets, non-volatile markets, because VWAP is a standard across all platforms. VWAP has been used for the last 20 to 30 years. When I first learned of volume weighted average price, the first thing I said was, who cares? I don't care where the VWAP is, because generally, by definition, the VWAP is a institutional gauge of the institutional trader's entry. What did I just say? Let me just break it down as simple as I can. Let's say, I don't know, Sherry's working for me for Glick Incorporated, and I tell her I want to own some DocuSign at the end of the day. I give Sherry the order. I'm the analyst. I say, hey, Sherry, get me 100,000 shares of DocuSign. Her job is to beat the VWAP. So she better have that 100,000 shares on the books with an average price today of below 50.62, because that's how we gauge. That's how whether or not she gets her bonus or not. So under the VWAP, Sherry's thinking, hey, the boss is pretty stupid. He wants to buy this stock. Sure, I'll buy it on the way down. But then as it's approaching the VWAP, remember, Sherry has to keep her average price below the VWAP. So then she has to start buying as it breaks back over the VWAP. So now it's above prior day VWAP. The buying is going to continue because she's got to get some more shares in. You understand? Let me go back to this NVAX trade. We're in this one also. So NVAX, right? NVAX, you see how you had this first sell, and then it came down to, and again, this is just classic technical analysis meets the VWAP. So, and when you start establishing, first of all, when you truly accept the market is rigged. So get up right now from your chair, go in the other room, look at yourself in the mirror and say, the market is rigged. It is. There is no doubt. Rigged to, oh, GameStop just got halted. It's rigged to price. So you see this area right here, how it hit this specific price in the pre-market, and that's where it bounced. Lo and behold, it went right to the same exact price later that day, and it held, otherwise known as a double bottom. Maybe you should buy it. Maybe you should, because that's how you identify risk. So let's say you were too scared to buy it down here. Oh, I'm unfamiliar with your ways. Okay, cool. There's the blue line, and it breaks. But Kenny, I thought you said if it breaks the blue line, it goes straight up. Not always. Sometimes it consolidates. But you see how the consolidation led to a better break later and then a better break? Because the VWAP trader, remember, Sherry's out there. I told her to buy me 300,000 shares of NVAX. And she's buying it on the way down, loving life. But now it's above the VWAP. What's Sherry doing? She's scrambling. She's running for her life. She got to get some shares on the books. Oh, God, here it goes. That's what VWAP is. It's telling you that the institutional trader's chasing his own trade now. Join in. Join in. Make Sherry pay up for the stock. Join in. So if you consistently trade VWAP and you understand the mechanics of the market, it's very hard to fail at trading. But you have to truly accept that the market is rigged. Some people don't really want to believe it. Trust me, it is. Algorithms account for about 80% of what goes on in the markets. A lot of the stuff is predetermined even. You can see it. When stocks go
to and from very specific prices, then back above the VWAP, and just like that DocuSign, how it went right to the price. Those are the moments where you have to say, holy moly, this market is rigged. So like I said, what do we do on a daily basis? We're consistently making money. UVXY short pays us almost every day. And then you just take these trades like DocuSign, like NVAX. And why are we trading these stocks? DocuSign, reported earnings, below the VWAP. You're a buyer, back above prior day VWAP, and you're rocking. Here's another one. So right on cue. And again, what you do when you come to my website, you see my scanners running, and you see what I'm doing, and you hear my voice. And sometimes I force you to look at my dumb face, but most of the time not. But every once in a while, you just see this guy, Scan Man. That's me, by the way, coming this Christmas.
That's glorious.
Thank you. It'll be fully animated this coming Christmas, coming to theaters near you. Scan Man, scanning the Scan Man. Then nobody could scan a scanner that I can scan. Something I got to come up with a better limerick than that. But that's all we do on a daily basis is we just watch the scanners and we just pick up on these trades. And, you know, again, all the cliches about the market, especially being rigged, are true. Every cliche you hear about it, the market is rigged, you know, oh, the rich get richer, or it's all manipulated. All that stuff is true. So if you just accept it and you know that VWAP shows you the rigging, you actually now have, I'm not going to say an unfair advantage, but now you finally have leveled the playing field with the institutional trader. That's why we're long the Qs right now. That's why we're in the DocuSign. That's why we're short UVXY. That's why we're long NVAX right now. And you could tell by the sound of my voice, do I seem nervous about any of these trades? They're all clearly defined. My stops are in. I have zero to worry about. And what we do on a daily basis is we just keep trying to find these trades, and it becomes second nature. So anybody's out there that doesn't know me, get to know me. The Warlock at hitthebid.com. I'll send you a link tonight, and I give everybody 2 weeks to see if this is something that fits your criteria, if this is something that interests you. I truly believe, and I say this with all sincerity, I am the best person on earth to teach you how to trade. There is nobody on earth that does it better than I do. And I'm not just saying that. I'm saying it because I've got my ass kicked so many times trying to find something that works this well. And now I have it. And by the way, GameStop's ripping massive size on the offer. Let's put this up now. And by the way, we are long the Qs right now, and I'm still holding on to this idea that we're going to go parabolic into the close. I was waiting for NVIDIA to go green, Q's new highs. I think we're hitting them right now. And this is the greatest market of all time. I know I've been trading since 1999, so really basically since 1996, really. I've seen 1999. People always go back to that. No, that was the best time. Sorta in a way, because you didn't even need charts in 1999. All you had to do was mention the internet and your stock went up 600%. It's better now. It's so much better now because we have liquid options, we have weekly options, daily options. There's so much more liquidity in this market, which gives you more opportunity. Plus, the government doesn't let the market go down anymore. So over any extended period of time, you really can't lose buying the Qs. But right now, that's not what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about what this trade's all about. Let me just show you the Qs. And again, I didn't really come here to talk my book, but I'm trading live right now while we're talking. So I'm long the Qs. And right now, this is what we call a faux show bro. Faux show bro is a trade that's been working forever. Faux show bro means fake out, shake out, breakout. Faux, market rolls over, breaks the VWAP, and then you see how it broke
that little tiny support, it wicked underneath, that's your fake out, there's your shakeout. And just like the market does to everybody, it makes victims of you all, right? It leaves without you. Oh, I just sold it, now it's going up without me. Why not just buy it back when it breaks over the VWAP and prior day VWAP? So yeah, sometimes it's hard to be in one trade the whole day. By the way, if you see the overall uptrend is still intact, we're long the cues from earlier here. And again, just like the NVIDIA trade, you could always revisit these wins. But before we go any further, just let me explain one more time what you're looking at right here. The blue line is today's VWAP. This is not something I invented. I just found a way to trade around it that I've never seen anything work this well. So the VWAP, what we did sort of invent was looking at it in multiple time frames. And I'll give credit where credit is due. Brian Shannon wrote a couple of books about it. He calls it anchored VWAP. Zach Hurwitz took it and ran with it and called it multiple time frame or multi-day VWAP. And that's where I came in. He told me to keep an eye on VWAP. 18 months later, and now almost 12 years later, it's all I do. Because it really gives you a heads up of what the market is going to do. But remember, the idea of being consistent, that's where you want to be, right? You're not going to get them all right. These trades do work very well, but there are occasions where they don't work. When they don't work, your job is to say, hey, this one's not working, let's get out. And if you are taking notes, which you should be when I talk, because everything I say is pretty important, here's one for you. It's okay to be wrong. Just don't stay wrong. Right? Remember what I said before about track records? The loser trader takes one loss and turns that and makes 5 winners disappear. The winning trader manages those trades and is able to take the one winner and sometimes overtake the 9 losses for the day. So another benefit of VWAP is you're generally, oh, I just did a trade. Let me just go check what that is. Hold on a second. I got orders. It's probably UVXY. I'm just always shortening and covering some options. I think that was just a cover. Anyway, that bell must mean I must have got stopped out of something, and most of my trades are profitable, so that must have been a good stop. Anyway, we're hoping that it still breaks 24.05 later in the day. We do have 3 or 4 hours left. I really do think we're going to get down to 23.85. And again, that bell just tells you that we just took some money off the table. That's how you trade, friends. You know, you could have the highest expectations, the highest hopes, but the way to make money is take some of the money, right? Like Richie just did, right? He's in the NVIDIA. What do you think he's doing here prior to VWAP? He's selling here, and that consolidation now, and again, the consolidation lows are generally where we place our stops when there's no VWAP around. And that hopefully is where Richie's got his stop at 12,003. So we'll see how that works out for him over there. But like I said, and I am a little distracted today because I do have like 4 or 5 positions on. This is what we do. We trade live and there's no bullshit. You know, I'm always talking about what I'm in. I don't tend to swing trade too much, but when I do, it's usually coming out of a good day trade. And then you start to see these extended periodicities of trading. Let me show them to you. So NVAX, the reason we started falling in love with this thing is that it just came out of a very, very specific pattern. This is a 3-year, we call it the Kardashian bottom. So stock, I love when stocks crash. That's why, again, I am a bear by nature, because I love bear markets because I know they end and then they become awesome bull markets. So right here, this stock was just coming out of this bottom range. Let me show you on even a bigger perspective. Here's your 2-year chart. So when it was coming out of this bottoming pattern, we had a 2-year VWAP that it went to the penny. And again, I'm amazed also because I get the idea of VWAP working on a daily basis, but I never really thought it would work on extended periods of time. Not only does it work on extended period of times, even yearlies. So once we got over the 2-year VWAP, we started looking at possible 3-year, and I don't think it's going to $46, but when you look at this chart, when you bring it down to technical analysis and price, you see the peaks that it hit way back 2 years ago. You think it's a coincidence that's where you went to? It's pretty much right here, more or less to the top of that area from like about 2 years ago. Anyway, we had a really nice trade on it. Now again, listen, I'm rambling on a little bit because I'm kind of distracted. Like I said, I got some positions on. I'm on this NVAX right now. I got the DocuSigns looking at the GameStop. I am a trader. You know, I trade first. Commentary comes second. But you know, what I do is what you're witnessing right now. And if you're interested in you hanging out with 150 or 200 like-minded psychopaths, that's what we do every day. And all you gotta do is email me. You can come hang out. I'm live basically, you know, from 8 o'clock in the morning to 11:30 nonstop. I got my, you know, coffee next to me. I more or less never leave. And then we take a break for a while. We come back later in the day, see what's going on. Most of the trading goes on between, you know, 8:30. If you trade a pre-market, you get a good feel for the market between 8:30 and 9:15. Market opens up. Generally, the rookie traders probably should stay out of the first 15 minutes, and then you get a pretty good feel for the market. 9:45 to 11:30, there's plenty of money to be made. So let me show you some GameStop while we're sitting here. Let me show you what I'd be doing with GameStop now that it's just absolutely just rip-roaring all over the place. Here's your GameStop. So here's your level 2, and you see how it spiked up to that price right there? Basically rejected at the VWAP. So now, as it's searching for new lows, if it holds, well, let's see that low print right here, 3163, right? It doesn't look like it's going to hold. But imagine it does. Now, again, it's pretty volatile. By the time I'm saying something, it'll probably be doing the opposite. Let's say it holds. You got yourself a double bottom. And then as it starts to rally off that double bottom, that's generally where you want to establish your trade. And just like it did, 3163, just hit it. Now, did you see what just happened? You just witnessed pure manipulation of the market. It went to the same exact price, and that's where the buyers were. It's not a coincidence. So now, again, I don't know if you bought it there, whatever you're doing. I'm not telling you to put a trade on while I was sitting here, but you know. So now let's say this becomes a new consolidation. And this consolidation leads to a break back above where it came from. And that consolidation leads to another break. If this stock breaks that 38.91, that's where you got to sell yourself. I don't care if I missed it here, 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 and here. This stock breaks VWAP later on today, buy it, because that usually triggers even more buying. This stock, like I said, is absolutely out of its mind. But yesterday, there was no way, and I would have bet my life that it wasn't going to go up, and then it went up 27 points. And that's another thing about trading. Realizing you don't know anything. Nobody knows what stocks are going to do. And that's why we love what we do. We trade price. So if this happens, then you do this. If this happens, then you do that. By the way, if it holds the 61.63 again, that'd be insane. Broke it by a couple of pennies, but there's still, the buyers are down here. They're still here. It's kind of remarkable how when you see it in action, that these prices are just, they're random yet not random. So anyway, again, the trader that has a little bit more skill and risk tolerance, you know, they're buying it down here and they're going to use a quick stop. It doesn't look like it's going to hold, but it keeps holding. I like to buy it after stocks get washed out, they capitulate, they get these crazy red candles down, and then they break back above where they broke down from. So I'm kind of stalking this for another buy. It looks like it's going to get halted again. So it's kind of frightening to trade GameStop lately. You know, it's going to get halted again, right? It just looks like they're going to halt it. Weird action right now. But that price up there, you see how it is, that last spike up price is basically the VWAP. And now it's getting halted to the downside. So again, the better platform, they announce that they're going to get halted. It gives you a little bit, gives you about 10 or 15 seconds to get out of the trade. And now it's halted. And that's the good platforms will do that for you. See now you got to sit here and wait for it to come out of the halt. All this and much, much more. This is what we do every day. So let me go, I want to go check on some of these trades. If anybody has any, I know I don't have the chat room open right now, but let me see. I could put this open there just to show you that I'm not. Yeah, if you guys, Sherry, if you have anybody that wants to look at a specific chart, again, this is what I do. If you have something you want me to look at, just to show you that it works on most stocks, unless they're.
So we got one person saying, how to get the VWAP for TOS? Anchored VWAP.
Yeah, cool. Well, the standard VWAP is right up here. If you go to studies and go to quick studies, and then go to all studies, and they bury it in the V section. There they are hiding out right there. So there's VWAP. Its cousin volume profile is not bad. Volume accumulation is anything volume related is an interesting little, distant cousin of VWAP. But there's the VWAP, and it'll put the deviation bands on there for you. What you don't get is the orange line. Oh, I just blew my chart up. Hold on a second.
And a related question of where can we get multi-day VWAP for TOS?
Yeah, multiple time frame VWAP is a script that Zach Hurwitz created for us, also known as anchored VWAP. That you got to go there. When you join our website, we script it all for you. We'll lay it out for you. We'll give it to you.
Nice.
Then when you get to meet some of our other players, we have somebody that works on my website who's now taken VWAP and created different types of hourlies, something called anti-VWAP. A lot of cool stuff around just trading volume. So, and that's it. I mean, that's more or less the story. So right now, again, I apologize. I'm a little distracted because I got some positions on right now. I'm still waiting for the Qs to, maybe make us some more money. But if you have any stocks you want me to look at, that's what I really like showing you. Hang on a second. I put a new study on my screen by accident.
ELTR when you get done. Timothy says, great movie to recommend. Dumb Money talks to this, talking about the VWAP, the anchored VWAP, I think. Or
yeah, Dumb
Timothy,
Money was
clarify.
actually pretty damn great. Yeah, I love that movie. Did a good job. All right, hold on. I blew my chart up. Hold on a second. Here we go. Well, what you're seeing right here on PLTR, let's go back to old school. Prior day VWAP got rejected there. It got rejected there.
This is a dumb question, but what is the difference between the the dashed orange line, and usually you've got the teal colored line, right?
Yep, the 1 minute, yeah, that's what I blew up. I just blew my chart up by clicking something. I mean, I'm just trying to
Sorry.
fix it on the fly. Hold on a second. All right. All right, that's my old school chart. So you got the deviation
There we
bands in
go.
there. By the way, GameStop breaking down now. Crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, he went from being super high to being very subdued right now.
So anyway, it looks like he's breaking the market, Roaring Kitty. So you see how the
Ooh,
market just,
29.45.
you just broke the highs of the day, but now you're rolling back over. So you see how there's a blue line and an orange line, almost like it's gonna collide? That's a major,
Mm-hmm.
major thing right there. So if the market does roll over, and again, UVXY, you know, coming off the floor, we got down to the 24. So the idea is that if the market does roll over, and then this is what makes me a good trader now. I had the expectations of the market rallying into the close. You know, right now I'm still feeling that it's going to happen, but I don't fight the market any longer. The market tells me what to do. So if we start breaking down, my stop is this orange line. And then if we're breaking down under prior day VWAP and today's VWAP, more often than not, we're going to sell off into the close. So there goes my whole idea. And that's where you got to realize it's okay to be wrong. Just don't stay wrong. If the market's doing something the complete opposite of what you thought was going to happen, you're wrong. You just got to admit it. And that's where a lot of traders fail because your ego gets in the way. As you know, arrogant as I sound when I start talking about guaranteed trades, I have been humbled by the market dozens and thousands of times. And by the way, there goes one of our other trades hitting new highs. So you see how this one's staying above the prior day VWAP? Our stop is that prior day VWAP line, which was 51.85, and we're still in this trade because it still hasn't really broken below it. So anyway, like I said, you have any stocks you want me to look at specifically? Because I'll show you how this works on any stock. As long as there's some decent volume on it, you can get a good feel for what the stock's going to do. Anybody out there?
Timothy says, Kenny said you have a feeling that QQQ is going out strong today, and another person's asking for NVIDIA. Excuse me.
Yep. Well, NVIDIA, that's what I was counting on. I was counting on this getting over the blue, getting over the orange. So it's struggling a little bit. You know, again, middle of the day, you really don't put too much credence into what's going on at 12:49 in the, you know, in the afternoon, because generally this is the time where the stock market does meander around. As long as it doesn't break down, the trend is still intact. I still think we're going to rally. I still think NVIDIA is going green. And that was the whole premise of today. Let them wash out the market. The jobs reports came out. They try to pretend the market's going to go down. UVXY starts to go down. And again, really, it's UVXY trending down that's telling me that I'm probably still going to be right about a rally into the close, but it's not going to happen without NVIDIA cooperating. So we're just sitting here and waiting. Right now, NVIDIA is still along. Like the closest stop is the 1200. And if you are trading NVIDIA, basically you're in the queues. It's the same thing. They more or less go with each other. What else you got? Give me something different than NVIDIA or
I
the
got
queues.
ETF, DIA. That's two different ones, right? Sorry, I'm not very.
Yeah, no, the Dow Jones, yeah, Dow Jones, SPYs, Qs, they're all generally tied together. You know, I don't really look at the Dow anymore. It's only 30 stocks. It doesn't really reflect too much. The S&P 500 and the Qs are really where it's at.
Yeah. Opinion of SPY direction.
Well, SPY generally the same exact thing as the Qs. You got your pullback, you've held. It's still a long. You know, again, as long as UVXY is not spiking above 2450, we're staying long into the close. Somebody
How
wants
about
to,
XOM?
somebody wants to see Tesla. Okay, here's something different. So in this case, Tesla held the VWAP, held the VWAP, held the VWAP, held the VWAP, then it broke. So whatever you thought was about to happen with Tesla, if you were buying it, this is where you got to say, okay, I'm wrong. 178.12 breaks. Next thing you know, you're down $1. Late day VWAP break usually begets more selling. So you got some divergence in the force right here. You got a few of the big QQQ stocks are going down, some are going up. And like I said, you know, I'm biased to the bull side because generally we go up on Fridays in a bull market. So I'm still waiting to see what happens next. We're already pretty much cashed out on most of these trades. Still got some DocuSign, some NVAX, you know, NVAX getting close to getting stopped out again. But again, just these are beautiful trades. These are very low risk trades for pretty damn good rewards. If you're risking 15 cents and you wind up making $1.20, that's a profitable, phenomenal trade. Because if you could risk $100 to make 1,000 on every trade you do, there goes that track record conversation. You know, 9 out of 10 trades fail, but you wound up making money. You're a professional or pseudo professional trader. And now, wow, GameStop is getting halted to the upside now. Oh my God. So I hope you guys have your big boy pants on or your Depends if you're trying to trade GameStop. It's pretty damn whippy. But you see, remember what I said? If it breaks down and then goes back above the breakdown price, that's where I'm interested. Now I'm interested.
Yeah, it went back up quite a bit. I got a request for Lulu.
Lulu. Well, there's the retrace. Now, this was a beautiful trade earlier. This is what you just call the check mark, right? You went down first, back above the VWAP. You're a buyer, just like the NVAX trade and the DocuSign. Sells off first, comes back above the VWAP. You're a buyer at the VWAP. Prior candle lows are your stops. Orange line was your first target. See how it hit it to the penny first? So the blue line entry was 319.39, and the stock went up about 4.5 points. Overshoots it, comes back. No coincidence that it held the specific spot where it broke out from earlier, which then gives you another reason to buy it. Again, all this is doing for you is giving you low risk trades. So right now, as it resets back to the VWAP, the buyer shows up again. Look how it hits the VWAP to the penny, and there happens to be a buyer there. That's how VWAP works. So now if it rolls through it, you know, hey, this thing's now going to be in a downtrend because you've held the VWAP the whole entire afternoon. You break down below it, chances are it's going lower. So the seller or the buyer will probably sell as long, and the short will be a little bit more encouraged to maybe take a short. What else you got?
I think we're running down to the end here. You got about 6 minutes left. I want to post your links if you'd like.
Yep, the number one link anybody needs.
Bid.com.
Yeah, the number one link you need is my email address. So the warlock at hitthebid.com. The name of the website's hitthebid.com. Anybody who wants to hang with us, just email me. I will send you out an email tonight. And by the way, UVXY, by the way, you'll get a kick out of this. When I'm in a trade and I need to remind you that we're still in it. UVXY, new lows. We're still short. So just in case, you know, some people need like a guy behind them to slap in the back of the head. That's me. So I'll just keep reminding you that we're in the right trade, we're on the right side, and everything's going to be all right. See, you thought we were going to get stopped out of those queues, didn't you? Right? Market never goes down, people. Market never goes down, people. This little pullback shouldn't have scared you. If it would have broke the VWAP, then you're changing the tune. Right? Here we go. Rally into the close. Still intact. UVXY new lows. Qs new highs. We're going to crush the bears. So now if you're still long the Qs, which you should be, now you understand there's nothing to fear except for price. If it would have broke down, then you sell it, not little temporary pullbacks. So now if you haven't sold any yet, you take some profit here, keep your stop at this level, and now you're milking this trade. This is how you make money trading, my friends. There you go. Q's new highs, people. Q's new highs. Q's new highs. Q's new highs. NVIDIA new highs. So yeah, we have some fun trading, especially when all these trades start to work out. Yeah, it's fun when you're making money hanging out with friends. Anybody got another trade you want me to look at? You guys long the
Yeah.
Qs and short UVXY?
We got MRK and we got rolling on NQ futures from Timothy.
Merck looks like a short, but
Ooh,
just
look at that
consolidating,
VWAP.
consolidating under the VWAP. You know, I'd be a buyer actually. It's a very limited risk trade, but if you're in it, you're kind of just in limbo because you've held support 5 times, but you're still under the VWAP. Doesn't look bad, just nothing really going
Doesn't
on
look
right
good.
there. NQ
Hmm.
futures, that's the QQQ. Hope you're long. NQ futures is the Qs, obviously new highs. And we're looking for them to retrace and break the new high right there. So now you're flirting with the top of the day.
Mm.
I still think we're going higher. I think we're closing 467 minimum on the Qs. And here's the NVIDIA going green, as I was thinking it would. So everything's clicking right now, right? So again, this is what trading is all about. You put your positions on, you work your trade, you know where your discipline is. And by the way, let's go take a look at GameStop. Maybe we get a shot at it. So now it's doing what I was hoping to see it do. It washed out below that price, and now it back above that price. Kind of getting jiggy with it right now. Again, I'm not in this one. A little bit too volatile right now, but I might revisit later. Anybody that's long this stock, what do you think their stops are? Just wild guess. Anybody that's
28
still
IQ says.
28, 20, 29, 28. That's everybody that's in this stock right down at these prices. That's their stop. Because if it breaks the lows of the day, it's going to go a lot. It's going to go lower. But if it holds, you know, the shorts are still going to get punished. But right now, Roaring Kitty's getting his ass kicked. I think he's down about, what, 300 mil? I don't even know what I'm rooting for anymore with this name. Dave Portnoy owns it, so I want it to go down. But at the same time, Citron Research is short, which I want them to go up. So I'm kind of torn on how I feel. But how I feel it's irrelevant. If you guys know who Dave Portnoy is, I don't want this guy ever to make money on anything he ever does. I don't like him. But my friends, that's it. Let's wrap this this show
All
up
right.
because I got to get back to some live trades.
Yep.
Email me. It's free 2 weeks. And are we doing lucky numbers today?
The Warlock hit the bid. Yeah, let's do that. Why don't you write one down, and we'll have everybody get ready with a number between 1 and 75.
All right.
Having a, oh, Hector says 77, so we already got one.
What are we giving away? A free month?
Come on, people. That's usually what you do. I don't think I actually got that filled in this month. It's been a wild, woolly ride this month. Anybody else? I'm gonna wrap it up now, and you'll have to live with it forevermore. I got 2 24s, so if somebody wants to re-choose.
It's funny. That's my other lucky number, but that's not the number.
Okay. All right, but only choose one unless I had that. Okay. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, what did you say, Kenny?
43.
43. Let's see if I can scroll up some. So we don't have a 43, but let's see if we have one that's close.
I'll give it to the
Anything in
224 guys.
Lance and Timothy. Guys, I'm going to give you an email address that you need to send to me, and then I put you together with Kenny.
All right, my friends. By the way, we did sell that bell was us selling some $24 puts on UVXY at 15 cents. So we're still short.
Nice.
Yeah. So again, if you haven't learned, do some due diligence, my friends, on the UVXY trade. It's the most fascinating thing in the world, how this product is legitimately built to go down. You cannot lose money shorting UVXY over any extended period of time.
That doesn't mean you can't lose if you freak out and panic, like shorting it right now and it rips up $1 and you freak. But if you don't cover and you have enough money and time, you legitimately cannot lose money shorting UVXY. Live it, learn it, love it. Have a great rest of the day, everybody. Thanks a lot, Sherry.
Being with me, I appreciate it. And I hope you have a good rest of your day too.
Thank you. See you guys.
All right, I'm just finishing up, sending privately. Okay, have a good one. Thanks for being with us, and I can't wait to do it again. So
You got it.
thank you so much. And that was Kenny the Warlock Glick. I've hit the bid, and it's always fun because it's like cutting edge what's going on right now. Many thanks to our sponsors for the June live trader showcase, Market Taker Mentoring, TechniTrader, and Money Mentor. Please go check them out at markettaker.com, technitrader.com, and moneymentor.com. Thank you again.